Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be talking about Gaza. There's no really easy way to put any of this or anything like that. I don't plan on really doing an intro type thing. I tried filming this 6 times. Felt like I couldn't get the words out right, but when talking about Gaza, you need to realize that a lot of what's happening in Gaza and Palestine as a whole has happened across the world already, just in a different format, or it's still ongoing, like the genocide of indigenous peoples and indigenous peoples fighting for their land across the world. Not just Native Americans or Palestinians, but like the Sami people in Lapland, in Scandinavia, or people in the Pacific Islands, Australia, New Zealand, the Rohingya and Uyghur peoples, the Kurds, many other groups of people are fighting for freedom, land, autonomy. Um, the lack of access to food and water really hit me when I was learning about Gaza and what's going on in Gaza, because in Palestine, the Israeli government wants to cut off all supplies to water and food, and that's happened in Gaza. And electricity, and some Native American reservations don't have access to that stuff, um, and medical supplies as well. And there's not a huge group of people talking about oh, the plight of the Native American people is similar to the plight of the Palestinian people, but it's so similar, strikingly similar, that people refuse to make that comparison. And we also need to acknowledge that we are on stolen land and what land we are on if we're fighting for land back. um that's one thing I've seen in the protest that I haven't heard, is that people are not acknowledging what land they are on. I feel like that's super important. Another thing is the femicide in Gaza is absolutely tragic as a whole. As somebody who's an MIW survivor, also another femicide, which is the femicide done to Native American women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. Like, it's rough. These women are being forced to see people get, the family members are forced to see women and girls get raped and or be shot. Um, and the sexual abuse that the men and boys are also facing is absolutely tragic. And the Israeli government just wants to kill people out of nowhere, just walking. The image of Motaz from Motaz's page that showed a Palestinian man who got ran over by an Israeli tank, and his guts splattered everywhere, uncensored. That image haunts me to this day. And the reason why the Native American plight is so similar is because the way Manifest Destiny and Zionism basically are essentially the same thing. And also, please note that Manifest Destiny did deal with the forced migration of indigenous peoples, so did Zionism. And forcement onto reservations or certain plots of land like Gaza in the West Bank, or different Native American reservations, like the ones my ancestors are from, and the one specifically my ancestors are from, they're probably from other reservations across the United States and Canada. But it's really tragic to witness a genocide unfold right in front of our eyes, and people are not willing to do anything like protests and whatnot, and write their raps or risk it all, you know. And from a previous video, you know I basically risked it all to support Gaza. And I'm going to quote a father of Zionism that makes the Native American and the Palestinian plights parallel to each other. And he said, we want to do everything to the Palestinians that the European powers did to the Redskin savages. Something along those lines. And that really sticks with me because not only is it painting Palestinians and Native Americans as savages, which is absolutely fucking racist, but it basically dehumanizes Palestinians and Native Americans, and the dehumanization and everything like that. Like, I feel like Zionists really want to take out on to the Palestinian people because of the Holocaust and the dehumanization of Jews in Nazi Germany, which genuinely, that's to be the truth. It's like literally essentially trauma dumping 10 times worse. It's like it's unresolved trauma essentially, and people don't realize that the Nakba in Palestine is giving Israel excuses. I mean, excuses to justify genocide, just to justify killing innocent civilians. 9/11 didn't make shit better. It made shit worse really because Muslims, South Asians, anybody who passes Middle Eastern was seen as a terrorist, which is extremely racist and Islamophobic in itself. Um, so with that being said, like, really think about what you say and what you do. Like, I had to unlearn Zionism, and for being complicit at the beginning of the genocide, I am sorry. That's the least I could say and do. Um, thank God I came to the unwavering wavelengths to unlearn all that shit and deconstruct, like I'm deconstructing Hebrew right now, so Hebrew can be of use still, even though Zionists basically reconstructed Hebrew. I mean, modern Hebrew, like, it's so entrenched with Zionism, so is Judaism. That's why I want to go more the Reconstructionist route instead of Reform, because even some Reform Jews don't support Palestine, unlike Reconstructionist Jews who really want to reconstruct Judaism without Zionism. And I also want to talk about Ashkenazi normativity while we're at it, because it's a Zionist tactic of white supremacy, because most Ashkenazi Jews are European Jews, mainly Eastern and Central European Jews, but also Jews from the Balkans and some parts of the Balkans and other regions across Europe. And they're fairly white passing, have white privilege. Although Hitler viewed them as a different race, um, their genetics are essentially make them like a whole lot like look like more like what you would consider like white people in America versus other Jewish groups like Sephardi or Arab or Mizrahim, Palestinian, Yemeni, Iraqi, Ethiopian Jews and Arab Jews, like Palestinian Jews who existed before Zionism entered Palestine, um, are subjected to racism, the same amount of racism as other Palestinian Christian and Muslim people. And one question I got asked in my DMs one day was like, "You're a queer person, why are you supporting Palestine?" And I'm like, "They're queer Palestinians. Like, why the fuck would I not support Palestine? There are queer people there. There are disabled people there. There are women and girls, and there are mixed race Palestinians. Why would I just leave Palestinians behind? Like, seriously." Um, it pisses me off that somebody would assume my queerness would deter me from being as open-minded as I am and opening up to understanding the Palestinian people. People just want me to be convenient to society. And as my friend Serene Haddad, if you have not seen her speech that I posted on my Instagram, it's not a full clip, but it is a huge clip of her speech. Please go watch it and go follow her. Serene Haddad said, and I quote, "Screw your convenience," referring to Tim Kaine and other government officials in the United States for being complicit in genocide and not speaking up, making it more convenient for the public eye. And that has like that is a point that could stick with anybody in any situation outside the subject of Palestine. But pertaining to this, like, screw the convenience of others. I feel like being convenient and not talking about it is being severely complicit. Especially for those learning Arabic in the polyglot language learning space. If you are learning Arabic, you need to be speaking about Palestine. Like, you need to be speaking about Palestine. Um, because you're learning the language of Palestine, even if you're not learning specifically Levantine or Arabia Palestina. I'm assuming that you're learning MSA or another dialect. Like, they still would be able to moderately understand you. Um, Even if there's a dialectal difference, um, or you're speaking MSA, um, which is Modern Standard Arabic for those who don't know. And y'all need to be held accountable. Um, I've seen maybe only 3 or 4 people talk about Palestine in the polyglot space. Absolutely nobody else. And I've seen people make like one post or something. Like, we need to do better as a community. Um, and also, as far as languages go, I feel like we need to just deconstruct modern Hebrew. Like I said, I have a whole video about that, which I will not link here because I feel like Gaza is a little bit more important. Also, a few things to note. Um, some officials are calling for it, but not many. But still, fuck them because they were complicit for the longest time. I'm talking about you, Elizabeth Warren. Screw international leaders who are not talking about this, or doing anything to stop the genocide in Gaza. Um, and I will say this, if you listen to Serene's story about her family and read everything that her dad and her extended family have put out, those in Gaza and those who are outside of Gaza, um, and like listen to her dad and what she has put out herself, like, I feel like you would understand more about Gaza. So I'm not gonna link her at down below, but she is in the pinned video on my Instagram, which I will link down below. Please go follow her and watch her highlight reel. Palestine, you will understand. Um, and shout outs to her for educating me when she didn't technically owe me any education at all. Shukran Serene, I appreciate you so much. Um, and also, I'm not looking for likes or comments or anything. If there are comments on this video that are absolutely bigoted as a whole, they will be removed and you will be blocked. And if I find you on other platforms of mine, I will block you. Huda Palestine, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.